The care and diligence from those in the funeral and burial profession is an invaluable service in life. So this Northwest Wednesday, we're getting a glimpse of how students are prepared for this field at Northwest Mississippi Community College. And coming today, welcome the Funeral Service Technology Program Director Ebony Dukes. Hey, Miss Ebony, how are you?
Doing well. How are
Good.
you?
And welcome to Bluff City Life. I think I met you before.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Now let's talk about this because I'm really surprised to know that Northwest offers this.
Yes, so the funeral service program has been at Northwest since 1977. A lot of people say that they don't know that we're there, but we have been established for a long time.
77?
Yes. Much of the Bluff City population of funeral service was educated at Northwest.
Wow. Now, who would you say, because I always feel like there's a certain, I don't want to say certain look or whatever, but who would you think would be like a funeral director or go in this industry? Who is this kind of for? Because remember, I was talking to you and I thought maybe it was a great job for someone who's introverted, who kind of likes to be quiet. But you said that's not the case.
Not necessarily. So a lot of people think that because you're dealing with the dead, that an introvert would best fit the role. But that's not necessarily true, because although the people that we're caring for are deceased, we have a lot of interaction with their family. So you have to be somewhat of an outspoken person. Even if you're not dealing with the family, you may be dealing with, say, for instance, the facility in which you're making your removal or picking them up after they've died. You're interacting with vital records. So there's a lot of behind the scenes interaction that maybe the embalmer would do, not necessarily the role that's assigned to the funeral director. So it's good to have some extrovert tendencies, even if you are an introvert, because you do have to have communication with a lot of people.
I would imagine it's such a tough, subject just to approach a family about that. Like you were saying, sometimes if a client comes in that's been, it's pretty traumatic, and you have to share that with the family. So almost like having compassion, a sense of empathy for people.
Compassion and empathy are very good characteristics of a mortician, funeral director, embalmer. And being able to have very difficult conversations in a soft way, but being assertive at the same time, because the information that we have to provide to families a lot of times is not necessarily what they want to hear, but it may be what's best in the situation. And so ensuring that you're explaining to them exactly what's happening, but being mindful of the sensitive nature of the work that we do.
I love that. I love that. So tell me, like, how long is the program?
The program is 5 semesters, so about a year and a half. And then we have an evening program that we really want to be sure that people know about, because if you're a working professional, the evening program works best, and it's 6 semesters, so about a little over a year and a half.
A little over a year and a half. And then is there a test to take at the end, or do you have to practice in Mississippi since you're in Mississippi? Kind of talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so yes, we prepare our students for what's called the National Board Exam. And it's the credentialing exam that solidifies you to be able to practice funeral service. And that test obviously is national, so it doesn't matter where you go to school. You come to Northwest, and then you're able to go to any state to serve your apprenticeship, which is 1 year. And then from there, you will obtain your license in whatever state where you've served your apprenticeship and want to practice. And then you can reciprocate that license to other states, so you can be licensed in multiple states to practice.
Yeah. So now let me ask you this. How important is it now, would you say, this kind of career? Because I feel like you guys are always offering a career or something, especially when it comes to a trade job where people can earn a good living right away.
So funeral service is in high demand right now. If you are interested, you feel like funeral service is the way for you, jobs are in an abundance. Especially after COVID, a lot of funeral professionals kind of burned out, like healthcare professionals.
I didn't think about that.
So there's a great need for people who have the characteristics to be a good funeral professional. And so I think this is a wonderful time to go to school to become a funeral director and or embalmer. because whether it's locally here in the Bluff City, or if you want to say go to California, funeral directors are needed everywhere.
Everywhere. And
yes.
it's like, I feel like it's just, now that I think about it, that's going to always be.
Right.
So that place, you know, that job will always be in demand. And I do notice too, because back in the day we were talking about how we saw men kind of in this field, but now you see more women coming forth. Kind of share a little bit about that.
Yes, so right now the majority of graduates across the United States in funeral service are women. About 70 to 73% of our funeral service graduates are women. Yes, so women are taking over funeral service death care. And that's something else to take into consideration. You don't have to just work at a funeral home with the degree that you will receive. You can go and work at the medical examiner's office as an autopsy technician. You can work at a tissue bank, so tissue and organ procurement. You can, there are several other opportunities in addition to working in the funeral home.
Y'all better get on down there to Northwest Wednesday, honey. Let's go, let's go. Bluff City Life returns shortly. We'll be right back. That's great. Yeah.